Hello viewers, I'm here outside Great Yarmouth Magistrates Court to inform you that in relation to the 11th of February charge, I was convicted on two charges, section 50 and section 5. On the 17th of March 2017 I was also convicted of a section 5 public order offence here at this court today, and I have been ordered to pay £240 in fines, surcharges and costs in total. £240, and the formal collection order has been made. It's not been made clear how long I have to stump the cash up. It has been made clear that it will have to be paid, or I could face a visit from a bailiff or a prison sentence. This is not what I've hoped for today, and I do not think the hearings were fair. However, I will take this to Crown Court where I will hopefully get my chance to have a fair hearing and appeal against both the conviction and the disproportionate sentence, given that I've already spent a number of thousand police cells in relation to both offences. I've not really been ordered to pay £240 in fines, surcharges and costs is proportionate.
Well, at the end of the day, Marcus, I've got to say that you done brilliant in court today, with the good help of Eddie, who went in for you as a Mackenzie friend today, as I had a bit of a sore throat and all that. So Eddie went in and done you proud today. To be honest with you, I sat there and watched what went on, and they didn't give a toss about your rights. They didn't give a toss that you was allowed to film in a public place. They didn't care about none of that. All they was after was with the pounds and pence. What do you reckon on that?
I fully agree. They were only after getting money from me in the forms of fines, stuff in stone pockets, in the forms of surcharges, which again will end up in their own pockets.
I want to just say one thing, is every time you asked the police a question, it was, I don't know and I don't wish to answer that, and they were allowed to get away with it. I don't understand how the police can just get away with whatever they want to get away with. Well, we know these are fraudulent places. It's full of corruptness, and they're just dogs. Basically, they're dogs.
Agreed. Kangaroo Court, wrongful conviction. This will be going to Crown Court, and if necessary, to the Criminal Cases Review Commission.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. You've got to thank everyone that come up today. A lot of them don't want to be on film, as you know, but you had a good few people come up and watch you today. You've got to thank them, obviously.
Yeah, thank you to all those who turned up. Thank you to all those who have provided moral support in the comments sections. And thank you very much to East Coast Resistance, which is run by this very great man, Colin Johnson, here in Great Yarmouth. And on the bright side, my conditional discharge is for two offences last year have not been reactivated, and they've now expired, meaning that I will not be punished for the offences of sending a malicious communication and for a racially aggravated public order offence.
Now, all that was for was calling a police a Nazi.
Yup, indeed, calling Inspector Hayes a Nazi by sending him an email for Hitler moustache drawn on, and on another occasion performing a Roman salute and singing to another officer, Deutschland, Deutschland, über alles. No warning given to the sister, straight, you're under arrest, followed by handcuff, followed by push against the wall, followed by being bundled in the back of the car, taken to a Windham pick, and then charged.
Yeah. Right, I've just got to say, come here Marcus, I've just got to say a big thank you to Eddie as well, because he done brilliant today. He done absolutely brilliant, so he deserves a good pat on the back. We're going to take it to Crown Court, because here today was a serious injustice done. Alright, I'm just going to say thank you to you, Marcus.
No, thank you, Colin.
Alright, and people keep a watch on this, because this was absolutely disgusting. We're going to take it to Crown, so we'll see what happens after Crown. You be lucky.
Bye.
Right, hello people. Right, as you see, Marcus got found guilty all the way through, but I'll just go to the court case, right? Because I've got to say, It was absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. Right. From the first minute, we knew we was going to have problems. We walked into the court, right? Straight away, the usher was all over us. You're not having that laptop. You're not having that laptop in that case, in that courtroom. I've said so. And straight away, you know me, I sort of lost my temper with him. I didn't swear or anything like that, but it got heated, you know. And I basically told him, who the hell does he think he is? And he's going, well, I'm telling you, you're not having that laptop. And he said, well, look, it's got all my stuff on. And so I turned around and said, well, hold on a minute. The CPS have got a laptop in there. So how comes we can't have a laptop? Oh, they're the CPS. They can do what they want. So anyway, we had a bit of an argument about it. And he's going, you're not having it, you're not having it. I've said so, I've said so. He's a bit of a prat, to be honest, with this usher. He thinks he's the law. You know, you can't tell him nothing. He's even the security guards and all that were saying, look, Cole, you know what I mean? Just leave him. He's like that with us all, you know what I mean? But I weren't having it. Anyway, walked into court, said to the judge, like, we want our laptop. And the judge said, yeah, as long as you ain't recording, you can have it. Job done. But he never liked it. He kept looking at me all the time in the courtroom, scowling at me and all that. And I was just waving at him, smiling and all that. I suppose I was winding him up a bit because he was a prat. But anyway, into the court, right, I've got to say, Eddie was absolutely ripping them apart, ripping the witnesses apart, just ripping the CPS apart. It was the little skinny court clerk in there. He reminded me of, I might be a bit old for this, boys and girls, or ladies and gentlemen, but do you remember a Ladybird book called Rumpelstiltskin? The little horrible bloke with big hooter and all that, you know? That's what this clerk of the court was like. He was just a prat. The stuff we was passing him, well, Marcus was passing him, all basically telling them the law and all the rest of it. He weren't even passing it to the bench, he was keeping it all. Wouldn't pass it to the bench, let the bench see. And as like I said, he was being this is the first I've got to go back a little bit here. We went there, the first case, right, is the one that we've been discussing all the time. That should have been on in the morning. We get there, right, we get into the courtroom and they started reading out number 2 case. And we said, well, we're not set up for this. We're supposed to be for the first case. Oh, no, it wasn't like, but it was, you know. They swapped cases on, started reading the second case. We had no paperwork, nothing for the first case. And absolutely for the second case. We had absolutely nothing. But they put that on first. And we knew we was being fucked about. They knew what they were doing. And I'll say I can't believe it, but I can believe it. You know, because I know how corrupt it is in Great Yarmouth. This is why the council use it, and all the other little Herberts use it, who just want to get their own way with you, because it's so corrupt in there. It's absolutely disgusting. And well, I'll just say to you, if anyone's ever going to Great Yarmouth Magistrates Court, if it can go to Crown Court, do it without hesitation. Don't get blinded by, if you have it done here, we'll only give you like a small sentence and all that sort of cobblers. Bollocks. You're never going to get, if you believe that you're not guilty, never, ever have the case heard in Great Yarmouth. But there again, This is why they brought out these summary offences. So they keep you in the magistrates' court. They keep you in there because they can just do what the fuck they like. There's no chance of you getting justice. No chance whatsoever. Well, anyway, Eddie was ripping the witnesses apart. He was, because he was feeding Marcus what to say. He was absolutely tearing them apart, like all their witnesses and everything, tearing them apart, putting paper in after paper in to prove what he was saying. The old CPS judge, oh, could the magistrates please tell Mr. Williams, his name's Eddie Williams. Can you tell Mr. Williams to stop telling Marcus what to say and all the rest of it? And the magistrates go, yeah, I do agree. Could you stop talking to Marcus, please? He can talk for himself. Now we all know that Marcus is autistic and all that, and when he was standing up there, he was getting confused. You could see that he was getting confused and all that, but they wanted to keep him separate. They wanted to let him basically trip himself up. But Eddie, he turned around and said, well, like, can you stop the prosecution interfering, blah, 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 and all this sort of stuff. And he was bringing out all the rules and regulations and all the rest. And he's going, oh, you can't address the court. You can't address the court. Well, fuck it, you're trying to address him. So can't he talk back? No, you're not allowed to address the court. Well, don't fucking give me shit and expect me to keep quiet. You know what I mean? They were really. You could see how corrupt it was. It was just absolutely disgusting. The courtroom was full. Everyone was in there, but everyone. You know what I mean? And it was fucking disgusting. Anyway, at the end of it, right, Marcus proved himself not guilty by a fucking country mile. It was a not guilty. Anyone but anyone, like I said, had been in that courtroom, would have found him not guilty, right? Straight away, the magistrates come out, guilty. That was case one, right? I've got to say this, they were using hearsay evidence, right? And Eddie brought, well, hold on a minute. How can you bring up hearsay evidence, right? We're the CPS. We can basically. They said the CPS can do what they like. You've got no choice in the matter. You know, they would not stop the CPS or the police basically doing what they want. They were fucking not answering questions. The police. They were, oh, I can't remember, or I don't know, or I'm not answering that question, and all that. And like Eddie was telling Marcus to the court, like, can you get him to answer? Oh no, we don't need to answer that. Well, we don't do this, we don't do that. You know what I mean? You could tell without a fucking shadow of a doubt he was biased. Like I said, it was disgusting, absolutely disgusting. The whole fucking lot. We had two trials that day. One in the morning, one in the evening. Right? The evening one went the same way. Eddie ripped them apart, absolutely made them look stupid, right? And again, you could see, you know what I mean? It was not guilty. It was not guilty all the way through, you know what I mean? It was not guilty. But they found him guilty. It was guilty, and anyway, they give him a £200 and odd fine. You know what I mean? Then threatened him if he don't pay it, they're going to have the bailiffs on us. But I love the bailiffs, so we'll have a go with them when they come round. But we're going to take it to Crown Court. We've got to, you know what I mean? And what's going to happen when it goes to any sane jury or in the appeal court, and they're going to look at it and say, whoa, hold on a minute. You know what I mean? And lob it out. That's what we hope anyway. I hope you get a decent appeal courts and what have you. But honestly, people, like I said, I've been on the end of their shit before. But this was so clear cut. He wasn't guilty of anything, you know. And the old Bill was sitting there smug as fuck, you know, like Sergeant Crybaby Smith. Basically blamed Marcus for all the crap that's going on in Yarmouth. He put it on Marcus. Oh, it's down to Marcus. All the bad behaviour and everything of what's going on around McDonald's, you know. And it was all protecting McDonald's and Copper. It was, oh yeah, we were there outside McDonald's. The public money are paying for the police to stand outside McDonald's, and McDonald's. When we're not there, we go for our tea break. The McDonald's are there pressing the button, zapping all your kids, destroying their eardrums. You know what I mean? But I just, well, I say I can't believe it, but I can believe it. I predicted this anyway, because I know how corrupt Great Yarmouth is. It's one of the most disgusting, corrupt police, the courts, councils. It is one of the most disgusting that I've ever come across, and I've heard some stories from a lot of people. But I've got to say, Great Yarmouth is one of the most disgusting. But there you are, people. I knew it was going to happen because I know Great Yarmouth. But I don't know. We'll just have to wait now, go take it to Crown and see what happens. You know, do the appeal stuff and see what happens there. But I'm just shocked. Well, I'm not shocked. I'm gutted. You know, I had a little bit of expectation that we might actually get justice, but I kidded myself. Even though I knew deep down that there was no chance of it getting it in Great Yarmouth. I knew it, but you can only hope, can't you? And what I'm saying now is we're in trouble. We're in big trouble. We've lost it, people. And this is because I've got to say this. This is because we don't stick together. You know, we're letting them tear us apart. We're letting them tear us apart, and they're doing it with a smile on their faces. You know, because they hold all the cards, and we're letting them do it. You know what I mean? Well, I'm gonna go. Right. I'll let you know what happens next. I'm just going to leave it there. All right, people. I'll see you all soon. Ta-da.